Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Pray everyone is doing well this afternoon, and I want to share a piece of information with you that was sent to me through a YouTube comment. And this turns out to be an amazing set of signs that I want to share with you. Okay. And so what was brought to my attention was something connected to this symmetry of between the blood moons, the Lord's perfect sign, where all of the eclipses between 2010 and 2019 all pointed back to one specific day. Okay, and there was an amazing symmetry within all of these eclipses. So here is what was brought to my attention by Revealing Truth under my recent video. Just wanted to point something else out here. If you Google blood moon tetrad symmetry, you will see the floor blood moons and other eclipses and the day counts in between those events. Well, at the top of the pic, the very first number day count you will see is 1461. This number is the exact amount of time from one inauguration day to the next, exactly 4 years, a presidential term. Was God pointing us to Inauguration Day 2021 with those eclipses? Something to consider. Okay. So what he brought to my attention is that within this sign, the first number that shows up between 2011 and 2019 is 1461 days. And you see here that it's 8 years. There's 1461 days plus 1461 days, bringing us to a complete 8 years. Now, to confirm this to you, we can do a day count between Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th, 2017 to Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2021, and we're going to see that there's 1461 days. Okay? Now, if we go to the Hebrew Strong's Concordance, we're going to see that 1461 means husbandman. Husbandman. Okay, very important piece of information. This is in the Hebrew, and if we go to John 15, we'll see that it says in John 15:1, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Okay? So husbandman. Now, let's take a look at the age of Donald Trump on the day of his inauguration, his first day in office on January 21st, 2017. Okay? He was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. We know that. We've gone over that information. The importance of Donald Trump as the 7th king, the 7th trumpet. Very important information connecting us with his age on the day of his inauguration. And he was also 700 years old when he was also 700 days old when Israel was reborn on May 14th, 1948. There was 700 days. So number 7 is very important with Donald Trump. But let's take a look at the number of days that he was alive from his birthday to the first day he took office. January 21st, 2017 was 25,789 days. Okay? Now, 25,789. Let's look at this. In newjerusalem.org, we put that number in up here, 25,789. Okay? And it brings us to the 25,789th verse of the Bible. This corresponds to Trump's inauguration from the day of his birth. The 25,789th verse of the Bible, this was Donald Trump's 25,789th day that he was alive. Luke 20, verse 9. Then began he to speak the people to the people this parable. A certain man planted a vineyard and led it forth to husbandmen, and went into a far country for a long time. Okay? Very interesting that within this we see man is Greek 444. That's very interesting. The other interesting piece of information here is husbandman is the same word that was used here between 4 years, 1461, okay? So let's go back to the beginning. This piece of information was sent to me about 1461 days as the first number on this amazing sign, okay? And then we look up the number of days between 4 years to the day from Inauguration Day to Inauguration Day. It's 1461. Then we see 1461 is the word for husbandman. Okay. Then we calculate the number of days Donald Trump is alive at the date of his inauguration. We see that day, 25,789, corresponds to Luke 29, where it also mentions husbandman. Okay. Then began he to speak to the people this parable. A certain man planted a vineyard and led it forth to husbandmen, and went into a far country for a long time. Okay. So, now if we look up husbandman, vine dresser, 1092, we're going to see that this is always related to the one who lends out his vineyard to the workers. Okay. And this is what Luke 20 verse 9 is saying. This is the verse. He began then to speak to the people this parable. A man planted a vineyard. A certain man planted a vineyard and rented it to farmers or husbandmen, and went abroad a long time. Okay? The word for husbandman gives us the understanding that the owner of the vineyard. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Okay? Now, okay, the interesting thing that I want to share with you guys is that 1461 days opens up a very important piece of information. This is connected to a 4-year time span. 1461. It's connected to the same amount of days between inauguration to inauguration, 1461. Then we have the understanding of husbandman. Okay. Husbandman is 1461, and it's also connected to the Donald Trump inauguration. Okay. Because we're led to husbandman on the day of his inauguration. Okay. January 21st, 2017. Okay. 25,789 days. So, if we go from, okay, the day of Donald Trump's birth, and we add 25,789 days, we get to Luke 29. Okay? He began to speak a parable to the people. A certain man planted a vineyard and led it forth to husbandmen and went into a far country for a long time. Now, if we add to this husbandman from the Hebrew, okay, it's going to bring us to January 20th of 2021. See, the life of Donald Trump brings us to husbandman in 2017, and then husbandman in the Hebrew brings us to Inauguration Day of 2021. Now, this is the parable that connects us with a 4-year time span and the lending out of the land to a husbandman or to a caretaker. He spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon, and found none. Then he said unto the dresser of the vineyard, Behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and find none. Cut it down. Why cumbereth it the ground? And he answering said unto them, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dung it, and if it bear fruit, well, and if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down. And so we have a story of a 4-year time frame, or a 3-year time frame, and a 1-year delay, bringing us to a total of 4 years. Okay, and it's talking about a husbandman or a vine dresser or a caretaker of the vine. Okay, and this piece of information came right here out of this number, 1461 days. This 1461 being husbandman, connecting us to husbandman in the Greek by the age of Donald Trump at the day of his inauguration, and a 4-year time span of 1461 days. So John 15:1, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Okay, is this speaking of the return of the husbandman after a 4-year span, which brings us to a short space, the short space of the 7th king, from start to finish, the 7th king, and as soon as the 7th king is out, we've got the arrival of the 8th king, the return of the 8th king. And it's all connected to husbandman. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I pray you're blessed by this. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.